All right, Christina, you can go ahead.
Good morning, Amanda. This is Christina from Girls Talk
Oh,
Sports
wait, I
TV.
can't hear anything.
Can't. Oh, hold on 1 second.
Can you start over, please?
Yes, give me 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is Christina with Girls Talk Sports TV. I'm doing an article for Just Women's Sports, and I'm going to be focusing on fashion activism. And so in 2019, you wore a jacket at Westchester County Center, and it said no human is illegal on stolen land. And so I just want you to talk about wearing that piece and what does that mean to you, using fashion as a form of activism.
I mean, I feel like I don't know, I always speak my truth, and I saw that shirt, and I mean, it's true, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are kicking people out of countries and saying that they can't live here or go back to where you come from, but like, you really built this country on stolen land. Like, it don't make sense to me. And it's just like a reminder that people like really have to look themselves in the mirror and be like, yo, like, this is the truth. And also, like, that was a message to like the school system and like around the world. Like, we are teaching history that is not the truth. We lying to our kids, and I don't think that's fair, because how are we going to make this world a better place if we keep on lying? Right? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know you're from Sweden as well. So, I mean, just being an athlete, using fashion as a form of activism, how important is it for you to use your platform as an athlete to raise awareness on these issues?
Yeah, I mean, I think I use especially like, well, Instagram, I repost a lot. That is more so like a form of activism about what's really happening in different countries, right? And not just posting it when it's a trend to post it or a hashtag, but like I will do it all the time. And on Twitter, I feel like I call it out. I call it how I see it. And it's just more so to inform other people, but also for me to get it out my system. Like, I love history. So knowing that the truth is not being told, and we just, you know, making it flowers and rainbows to make the white man feel great about himself. Like, I don't mess with that. And if I can inform other people, and if they can inform me, in order to make this world a better place, then that's what I'm gonna do. We still not talking about slavery that is still going on in Libya. We still not talking about the hundred of millions of people from Gambia being put on ships and sent to Italy to work for Italians. I don't know if anyone knows about the silk trade that happened in Italy during slavery. Like, these are things that are real, like, it's real shit, and we don't talk about it. And so I feel like I'm gonna talk about it. And if people don't like it, then they're like the truth. I'm going to heaven. I'm speaking the truth.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. I get real rattled up when we talk about history.
No, that was great. We'll go to Jackie Powell.
Hey, Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice to chat. I've got a couple questions here about a good friend of yours. I'm going a bit in depth here.
Let me guess.
Yes, of course.
Beck.
Oh, of course. I mean, you know it. So I want to get you to expand on a moment that both you and her have touched upon that sort of shaped your careers. And that's, the time you spent with Teaspoon in the gym at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like, what do you remember from that? And what did those moments look like? And sorry if you hear weird noises in the background. I'm outside.
No, you good. Yeah, I mean, me and Beck, and I don't know if you remember Adut Bulgat. She played for New York a while. We were always in the gym with Teaspoon. Before practice, after practice, went home, ate, nap, went back to the gym with Teaspoon. And we just worked on, we wanted to play. You know, we all know that you have your role and your time is going to come. There was someone that was better than us that needed to be on the floor. So just taking that time and and having someone with you that pushes you and know how it feels to not being out on the court, but wanting to become greater and better with you. And it wasn't always easy, right? It was days that we, like, after game days, like we played a game, we didn't play many minutes at the gym at 7 a.m., right? And you were frustrated because you felt like you were supposed to play, but that's not how the journey was written out. So we would be in the gym, pissed off, but going at it with each other. And that took us till today. Beck is doing amazing. You know, and I'm so proud of my girl. Like, you know, out of all people, like Beck is like my best friend. And seeing her like blossom and being successful, it's really worth it. All those early mornings and or late nights when you rather sit on your couch or watch Netflix, right?
Mhm.
It's worth it.
That's beautiful. And one more, and then I will pass the microphone, or this virtual microphone. Describe something that is very unique to Beck, besides, of course, her Australian accent.
I have never met a human that eats more food and don't gain weight. Like, she, like, going out and like to eat with Beck is expensive. And like, I don't think, like, probably a handful of times we have had like a whole like full course meal at one restaurant. Like, we will have appetizers at one place, then she will decide that she don't want to eat there, so now we got to go and get the main course somewhere else. And then, you know what, maybe I want dessert from that place that we just came from. Like, that's Beck. But also, like, besides the funny stuff, like, she understands me. There's not a lot of people that understands me and understand how I work. And she's that one person that could give me, one of the few people that can give me that look and like, all right, we gonna talk later, or, you know, I got you, and everything is going to work out just fine. And once again, I'm extremely blessed to have her in my life. Um, I don't know a lot of people. I don't have a lot of friends, and she's definitely like my sister. Oh,
Thank
that
you.
was so heartfelt. It was disgusting. We all good?
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Bye, mates. Bye, you guys.
All right, thanks for joining, everyone. We'll start in person here and then head to the Zoom.
Coach, your reaction getting the news about KT? It's kind of like, here we go again, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a possibility because, she's capable of playing through, a lot. So, yeah, I mean, there's just certain years that are like that. And, it's not as though anybody is intentionally designing it that way. You just have to, kind of embrace it for what it is. And, the different players, like looking at it as unfortunate, but also an opportunity for more minutes, for more chances to go out and get better every night. Chrissy's a player that, does a lot for us when she's on the floor, even if statistically she doesn't jump off the page. She's a player that other teams have to plan for. So she adds value for us anytime she touches the court. And we miss that, when she's not out there. But yeah, it's just kind of a part of that type of season in terms of the injuries and the bumps and bruises. But, with all of that being said, we still have a chance. If we can figure out a way to protect our home court on Thursday night and keep this thing going.
Is this put more on Nia, or who would you say?
I mean, I think it's by committee, to be honest. I think our guard core in particular, Erica's minutes and her responsibilities, get stretched out a little more. But also Taya and Arella, they get opportunities as young players in terms of minutes at the guard position. Brittany Sykes as well, who sometimes, plays a little bit more wing when both Christy and Erica are in the lineup. So when you take Christy out of it, that we can play, Brittany some at the guard spot when we need to. And then that's where Nia does, kind of slide in as a wing player. And then if things continue in a positive way in terms of Shanae progressing and she's able to play Thursday, that still gives us enough of a balance with front court players. And then, Nia and Sykes is kind of those kind of versatile players that can play a few different positions, and then our guards having to hold it down, at the top of the floor.
What were your instructions to the team once you guys landed, once you got back, in terms of getting some space?
Yeah, I mean, to really get the space, to be honest, just take a couple of days. And, when you're going through a lot, personally or professionally, like sometimes you have to step away from it in order to see it differently or see it better. So just giving our players an opportunity to step away for a couple of days. 15 days is an eternity, to travel and play 6 games in 15 days in all the different cities. And wasn't easy. 3 or 4 of those losses were, 1-2 possession games. So our players left a lot, out there on the road. So they just needed the opportunity to recharge a little bit. And I think that's what they were able to do. And so the last couple of days have been good. Their focus has been good. They still see that we're, not completely out of the race, but they just want to keep working and, they're not giving in on each other and on the possibilities for this season.
It's been a wild year for NECA, of course, but the top 25 list comes out.
Yeah.
It's among it, but what were your thoughts on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about it yesterday, it's just like, in order to make that list, there's a level of excellence that you have to sustain for a long time. That's not just having a good year here or there. To be recognized as one of the best players of all time. It's not easy. But I think what stands out about the list, and I think specifically for NECA, for Simone, for players that, have played here, been here before, and other teams. Like, it's really the sustained level of excellence by their team and their organization that sets them up for the individual significance. And so, I just felt like it was it confirms, why NECA is so valuable to everything that we're doing now and this organization has been doing for the last decade. But I think also for players that are aspiring to be in that position one day, that's not chasing stats to get on that list. That's chasing excellence, it's chasing character, it's chasing integrity, is willing to be a part of something that's bigger than you. And then people recognize you for that effort. If you try to make it about yourself, that you don't get on that list.
You mentioned today, was he able to practice today, or like how did she look?
Yeah, she's just doing more individual stuff each day. And we're fortunate to have a couple courts here. So while we're doing some group things, she's getting some work on the other court, and more than she did yesterday. So hopefully we can get her out there tomorrow, and then we still have until Thursday night at 7:30. So, we seem to have a little bit of a better handle, hopefully this time, on, kind of how to manage her when she is, back and out there in terms of the minutes, the stretches of minutes, how we manage it. But, we're still just trying to be as responsible as possible. Like, she wants to be out there badly. We would love to put her out there, but, player health is just, it just always has to come before any short-term, goals and objectives. So we're just trying to respect Shanae in that way, and all of our players whenever we can.
I'll go to the Zoom. Tukni Nguyen with the LA Times. You there?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if I was unmuted. Hi, Derek. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. You mentioned Taya as someone that you are kind of looking for to fill in with Christy. I feel like, of course, that's kind of been the whole case during the whole season. But, Taya had such a strong rookie season last year. What have you asked her to do just in general to improve and take that next step in her career, even when Christy is with you on the court?
I think, last season with, Christy opting out, and the way our team was constructed, like, it was Chelsea, Sydney Weiss, and Taya were really like the three ball handling perimeter players that we had. And, that's a little different this year when Christy's in, to have that additional ball handling guard in the starting lineup. That kind of changes the way we do some things. And so I think for Taya this year, it's been asking her to, continue to find ways to be impactful in shorter stretches of minutes in different situations. She's been asked to start several nights this season, but she's also been asked to come off the bench a lot of nights this year. And that's a completely different mindset and preparation level for some players. And I think that's been a big adjustment for Taya this year, trying to figure that out. Like, how do I bring the same level of impact and energy to the game off the bench compared to, when I start, and vice versa. So, other than that, it's just really been, asking her to like trust her journey, and know that, and have the confidence that all that you may want right now, you don't always get it right away. And the great ones have an ability to delay their gratification and just keep doing the work. And things normally work out. I told the team even, a couple of stories about how, there are a lot of great players, I'm sure, on the women's side, that whether they were undrafted, didn't get a chance to play a lot in their first couple years, and just kept sticking to it. And now are the type of players that they always saw themselves being able to be. And that's the type of mindset that Taya just has to maintain. And I think she's doing a great job. We're happy to have, what she does for us. And, the thing about her is she's going to keep doing the work and keep getting better. And we're pretty confident in that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Time for two more. We'll go to Rosgold and Wude with Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, Ross. How are you?
Good, good. Excited to get y'all back home.
Yes, us too.
I know. I have two questions. And the first one is specifically about the road trip. Just what were the things that were the separators that you're talking about in practice right now that kind of separated from snagging that win, and continuing the streak on the road? What were the things that you were pointing out?
Yeah, I mean, the smallest, finest, details defensively. Our defense obviously does a great job night in and night out. But, we tried to show our team and talk with our team about, you think about first Connecticut game's a 4-point loss. The second Connecticut game, it's a 2-point game with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter before they started to get some separation. Lose by 2 in Indiana, lose by 7 in Minnesota, 7 or 8 maybe. So you're talking about 4 to 5 possessions, in these games that are making the difference. And so, really talking to our team about, like each possession, having a level of significance that you just can't let up on. So, defensively, it's the communication piece so that, teammates are confident and can trust each other more so that we can take some of those communication lapses out, finishing possessions with rebounds, which, a few of those games we rebounded well, a few others we didn't. And then offensively, just putting the ball in the basket, to be honest. As we spent a lot of time kind of talking about that and showing our team the opportunities that have been there for us and will continue to be there for us. And as players, you step up and make those plays and put the ball in the basket and have the confidence in yourself. So that, it's not complicated. And I think our players, they understand it. And we've been working at that this week, and hopefully we can carry that over on Thursday night.
And Coach, my second question is just specifically just looking for some juice on Lauren Cox, who had the benefit of the Olympic break. How do you see her, especially with kind of Chiney's uncertainty at times, really blossoming for you this season and in the long-term vision as well? What have you seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think so far, like Lauren's, her basketball IQ or feel for the game. I think whenever a player is like kind of thrust into a new situation, an uncomfortable space where she's not quite sure what's going on, it's all new to her offensively, defensively, teammates, and they kind of find a way to steady themselves and add value to the team. Like those are underlying qualities of a really good player. So Lauren's been doing a lot of great things for us on both ends. She's comfortable, facing the basket offensively, really good in terms of her length, her shot blocking, rebounding on the defensive end. So, we feel like she just has an opportunity to get better. And, that's what we hoped when, we kind of were in the unfortunate position of needing to, sign someone else with Vadiva's uncertainty, Chiney's uncertainty. So we needed some additional size. And we had seen some positive things in Lauren, but we didn't know if those things would transfer over. And they have. And she's shown some great flashes. And, to us, we feel like she has a bright future. And, we can't keep everybody. I wish we could. We got to figure out a way to create some more jobs in this game. But, Lauren's done everything that she can possibly do to confirm for us that, she could help us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Ross. Last one, we'll go to Chris Camello.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of just get a reaction, your thoughts on Nneka making it on the top 25 list, only from the standpoint because you talked a lot about her being undervalued. She's talked about being undervalued. Do you think this being on this list and having that sort of distinction kind of sort of absolves some of the issues maybe that occurred during the year as far as not being on Team USA and not getting the foul calls? Does this sort of absolve that a little bit, if anything, in your opinion?
I mean, I think that's more of a question for Nneka and how she feels specifically. But yeah, I don't know if it's really about absolving any particular thing. Yeah, I mean, that's just, again, a recognition for how great she's been for over a decade. And so I think, if anything, it confirms some of the things that we've questioned as to why a player that is regarded as one of the best players to ever play basketball, can't shoot free throws over the course of, if it's a 40-minute game over 5, 6, 7 games. I guarantee you, if you look on that list and you stack up the free throw attempts for other current players on that list, over 200 minutes, they shot more than 5 free throws. Again, that doesn't mean that people are supposed to just make up calls. Like, it's not about attacking officials and any particular officials, and we don't have time for that. But it is a fact, so we're not going to run from the facts either. So, at the end of the day, Nneka feels honored to be on the list. And just like typical Nneka, like, she's going to pick her head up to say thank you and it's an honor, and then go back to work. And so, that's what we're all going to do. And, we often judge books before we finish them, so, our hope is that once Nneka's book is completely written and finished, that when people look back on her career, they'll understand, hopefully, the significance and the importance that she carries. And, hopefully for our organization, the success will follow.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yes, long trips, but Coach Fisher was saying it was important for you guys to decompress a little bit. Were you able to do that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had some time off to regroup and, you know, get back in the gym and work on some things that went well and some things that didn't on the road trip. So yeah, had time to ourselves to regroup.
What's the season been for you? It's obviously like starting sometimes, coming off the bench sometimes, lots of other players going in and out. Like, what have you learned about this like process of being a professional basketball player in this kind of role?
I think sports is very inconsistent. You don't know when your time's gonna come. So honestly, the biggest lesson here is to just stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And I think with this season, it's clear as day that some people are starting, some people are not, some people are injured, some people are here, some people are not. So I mean, you really don't have too much room for error. So just trying to just stay ready for every obstacle that comes your way.
I mean, that's an incredibly long road trip for anybody, right? But for you, especially, you're kind of going through some of these things for the first time, even though it's your second year. What was that like for you?
Well, it's my first time seeing all of these arenas. It's my first time. This is my first season, honestly, because of the bubble. I was just playing in Bradenton, and so now that I'm getting to travel and I'm getting to see different places and different arenas and the feelings in certain arenas, like there's different feelings and there's different environments, there's different fan support. So it's kind of fun to see, you know, which teams have like the way they arena feel and the way ours feel. Other than that, I think it's kind of what we have to do. So it's not really much to expect or like feel some type of way about it. It's like we have a road trip, so it just is what it is.
Sometimes you got it going, you're going downhill. There's like this aggressive mindset that appears you have. Is that more of a feel thing, or is that you sort of making, you know, a decision that, you know, I'm going to get to the basket, I'm going to be more aggressive?
You know, honestly, I think I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I said, this season is new. Our roles change, teams change. There's different players on other teams, just like there's different players on our team that's having to step up. So I guess like just getting used to that and then finding yourself in a system that keeps changing. So, I mean, it's all new, and I think that I'm learning as I'm going, and then, you know, I get to capitalize on that in off season and stuff like that. But I'm figuring it out.
You said finding yourself in a system that keeps changing. Is this like every day? Are you kind of not completely from scratch, but every day are you kind of like, is it kind of like a one day at a time like thing, like literally for you?
I think that like as far as me, I kind of stay consistent with who I am, but like finding ways to be that and like depending on what we needed for that game or the scheme for that team or like the game plan, like stuff like that. Like sometimes teams play off, sometimes teams are pressuring us, sometimes it's like different coverage with the post players, they're hedging hard, sometimes they're sitting back. So it's like realizing that and incorporating what I'm good at. So
we'll go to the Zoom. We'll go to Christina Williams, the Girls Talk Sports TV.
Hey, Taya, thank you for being here with us. So I'm currently working on a piece where I'm talking about like fashion and social media impact on the culture of women's basketball. So how would you say your social media impacts the culture of women's basketball? Like your social media presence, sorry.
I never thought of that. How my impact, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are, you know, interested in how I carry myself. I hope to be a good example to the youth for that. And, you know, just being a woman in the WNBA is a beautiful thing. I think that people look up to everybody. And I don't think it's just me specifically. I think women are changing the game as a whole. And I just so happen to be a part of that. So I'm grateful that I do have a large following and I'm able to be in that spotlight. But I mean, I think we all kind of doing the change, I guess.
On your social media, you often talk about trend setting. So in your definition, what is a trend setter?
As someone who, I guess did it first and don't get no credit. And everybody just start doing it, and it's like it's everybody's thing, but like, nah, you got it from me, and it's okay to say that. But I think that's what a trendsetter is, somebody who really started it, and y'all really just took it and ran with it.
Thanks for that definition of what a trendsetter is. I know you often talk about the one leg sleep thing on Twitter specifically. Do you think that you specifically started that trend or made it popular?
For sure. Honestly, I think my whole swag has been copied around the, I'm gonna say women's basketball, I guess. Honestly, the one leg, rolling up shorts, ponytails, the way I look, honestly, is like a thing now. So
is there someone who has inspired your personal style or like just how you carry yourself in general?
No, honestly, I've been the same since I was in like middle school. I think it started in middle school when I started playing. I've been the same. I always felt like, as a basketball player, people think that because you're cute, you can't hoop, or just because you take care of yourself, like you don't take the game serious, or you focused on how you look and not how you play. And that's not the case. I play hard every day. I just care about how I look. I feel like I'm going to work, so I'm gonna look presentable. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like I've been doing it since I was little, honestly.
Go to Tiffany Nguyen with the LA Times.
Hey, Taya, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Brittany, and I know she's kind of in this Defensive Player of the Year conversation. So from in practice, what's it like being guarded by her?
I'm actually guarded by like E more often. Brittany's usually on the wings, but she's very, active. She's definitely the engine on defense. She's playing hard every chance she gets. She loves to be on defense. Like she'd rather just stay on defense the whole practice. She's in passing lane. She's active. She gets us going.
Is there something from the style that she plays defense with that you can kind of take and progress for the rest of your career?
Absolutely. I think the way our whole team takes pride in on the defensive end, especially with Coach T. I've learned so much from last year in the bubble because I had a lot of time, and then I was with Sykes last year too. So to just carry over, it was more like we knew we was going to be the energy on defense, and that's what we take pride in.
Time for two more. We'll go to Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
Hey, Taya. I just wanted to get your reaction to Nneka making the top 25 WNBA players of all time and what she's meant to you.
Nneka as a player is clear as day that was deserving, but it's really Nneka as a person that I think I've enjoyed the most. Like actually being able to know her and spend these 2 years with her, and then for her to make that list and still be playing, I think that is remarkable. Even with Simone, like I got to play with her, and now she's my coach. I think that them as people is more inspiring than them as players. I mean, of course, they're great players, but the way they are as a human being is, I think, remarkable. And the things that they do off the court and the interactions and relationships that they make with people, I think, is the most impactful for me, I would say.
Last up, we'll go to Roz Golden, Wude with Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, what's up, Taya?
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, you said so much today that I'm like nodding my head to. People kind of put somebody in a box because they present well, all sorts of stuff like that. But one thing you said that I thought was interesting was about your first road trips because you were in a bubble last season. Mm-hmm. Some arenas feel different. I was just curious, what arena stood out to you as like, it's cooler here? Like, what did it feel like? Which ones?
I think Minnesota has a great atmosphere. It felt like a NBA game. Like it was really packed. It's high. It's large. They're loud in there. Who else? Washington has a nice sized gym where it's like great for a WNBA game. So it feels like they all on you, kind of like Duke. I would say it was like Duke and UConn with them two schools.
Okay.
Connecticut had a great arena feel. Where else did we go?
Indiana, New York.
Oh, New York was empty because of COVID, not because of their fan support.
Because of the hurricane.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, those few gyms, I think it felt good. It felt good to have fans because this is my first season with fans. So to have them, stay after the game or interact and they're yelling, they're excited, I think that really make you feel good. Win, lose, or draw. So
very, very cool. Yeah, I'm actually from New York. I was supposed to go to that Liberty game at Barclays, but obviously the storm. One more for you is just, what have you learned specifically from Kristi Tolliver?
Kristi. What have I learned from her? I think just her poise. And just, she's had a very rough season, but she's been supportive on and off the court with everybody. She's a coach on and off the floor. She studies the game. She writes notes. She's very attentive and making sure she know every little detail aspect of the game or how somebody's playing you, which way to come off screens, how the screen is being set. So just really her being a student of the game, I think I learned the most from.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roz. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Were you on that reality show, True Life?
Yes.
That was you?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask you this all year, but I haven't got to see you in person. So
Yeah.
what was that like?
So True Life, the interview, it was cool. You have to it was my first time ever filming anything